Gonna get started with the show. So every 3 minutes, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer like leukemia. For patients with blood cancers like leukemia, lymphoma, and other life-threatening diseases, a cure exists. Be the Match is the community of donors, volunteers, healthcare professionals, and researchers who deliver cures by helping patients get the life-saving blood stem cell transplant they need. Be the Match was founded in 1987 and has facilitated more than 120,000 transplants. It's headquartered in Minneapolis and has 1,200 plus employees and thousands of volunteers all around the U.S. And we have our dear Gayatri. Gayatri, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Lina. Thanks, Chai Time team, for having us again. That's wonderful. Really appreciate all the support you guys been providing for years. And with your support, many people got benefited, received the transplant, and leading a good, healthy life. So what blood stem transplant is basically the blood cancer patients. They have they do not have good defected blood, so they need to their blood forming cells need to be replaced. And when their blood forming cells, known as the blood stem cells, get replaced by donors' healthy blood stem cells, this procedure is called blood stem cell transplant.
Okay.
And we have more than 11.5 million people on the donor database who are interested and committed to donate their blood stem cells when get an opportunity.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yes, and so many people, more than 120,000 people have donated.
Yes.
That is really great.
That's a big number.
It's a great thing, but the only thing is we have more need. There are so many other patients who are still searching for a match. And especially in our ethnically diverse communities, in our Desi communities, we have a lot more patients who are in need of transplant. Unfortunately, as you said before, every 10 minutes someone loses. And a lot of those people are from our Desi community. So we want to raise awareness. We want to help people understand how healthy people like you and me can contribute to provide cure to these patients. And I would like to invite my friend Noreen and ask her to share her journey. She has been volunteering with Be the Match for 5 years now.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so, 5 years.
It's 5 years. And the reason I connected with her is her friend Lina, who's from California, who was from California, was diagnosed and needed the blood stem cell transplant. So Noreen and her friends started campaigns and built this Team Lina, to raise awareness. Unfortunately, we could not find donor for Lina, and we lost her. But Noreen and Lina's parents and the friends are still keep going to help other patients.
Wow, that's so inspiring.
It is. So I would like Noreen to share more information with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excited to be here. And like Gayatri shared, my name is Noreen. I've had the pleasure of volunteering with Be the Match. Gosh, I can't believe it's already been 5 years. I feel like so much has happened in that time. I work in education, so also sharing the excitement of all of the back to school fun that parents are experiencing. And so like Gayatri said, back in 2019, my friend Lina was diagnosed with a form of leukemia. And so Team Lina formed kind of as an effort for like her friends and family members to just get together and spread awareness. I think it wasn't until like somebody that I knew was in need that I really learned about the need and learned how important it is for people like us to just to share the story and to raise awareness and to really understand like what the need is. And so I learned in that process that there's like a database that when you have a blood disorder or a type of blood cancer that requires a stem cell transplant, there's like a worldwide database that has, Gayatri, correct me if I'm wrong, over 20 million people. So it seems like a large pool.
Yeah, worldwide, yes.
Yeah. So it's like a large, seemingly large potential donor base. And then when we looked at the data, we found that less than 2% of that 20 million is South Asian. And as we all know, right, like within the South Asian community, there are so many different ethnic groups. So for my friend Lina, who was Hyderabadi, like her best chance of matching would be with somebody who shares her same ethnic background. And so even though like it's 2%, it's even smaller than that when you like really break down the numbers. And a lot of that data, unfortunately, isn't available. But what it taught us is just like how important it is for us to mobilize. And in a place like Houston, where we have so many South Asians, right? Like it just didn't seem like it was just like not something that made sense to me. It's like, okay, well, we have so many people here, right? Like we can just sign up, right? And like if her match, if that's all she needs, she just needs one person to match with her, like we definitely can find that. And so anyway, Team Lina was just an effort for young South Asian professionals and young Muslim professionals to come together and spread awareness and host as many of these drives in an effort to find a match for our friend. And then in that process, we learned about so many other people. So we met Mehreen, who actually, Lina followed Mehreen's story. Her daughter, Alicia, was also in need of a blood stem cell transplant, and she actually was able to find a donor, which is amazing. And so we kind of joined forces with other families in Houston and around the country. And since Lina was diagnosed, I think at this point we've probably registered close to 15,000 people in the database. And around the time that Lina was searching, a bunch of her friends signed up, and we know, like, as of last year, over 15 people that signed up for Lina were actually selected to donate their blood stem cells for other patients. And so they've been able to, it's incredible. Great. So they've been able to like go through with the procedure and save lives. And unfortunately, we didn't find a match for Lina, but I think that like continues to speak to how important this is, right? Because it shouldn't be, if we wait until it's our loved one that's in need, like truly that's too late.
Yeah. How old was Lina?
She was 29 when she was diagnosed, and she passed away about a year and a half later. She was a journalist, a really, really smart, talented individual. And so I think, again, that just like speaks to like, I feel like she is like the best of us, right? And like,
I'm so glad you're carrying on her legacy in a way, right? Because of, her, y'all have formed a team, and then there are so many more lives being saved.
Yeah.
So that is just great.
Yeah.
And so what are your challenges?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, as I'm sure you can imagine, I think like just the awareness, right? This is not something that like one is talked about, but two, I think like we just don't know, right? Like there's so much that we don't know. So I think just being in spaces where we can share the story and share the call to action, I think like oftentimes any questions or concerns people have, when they understand like what the need is and how simple it is to sign up and even how simple it is to donate, like it's a no-brainer. But I think there's just a lot of misconceptions. And I think like another big thing too is we just don't realize. I think we assume that like somebody else will do it. Somebody else will take care of it. It's not a big deal. It's okay. I'm busy right now. I like don't have time to think about it, but that's fine. Like someone else will figure this out. So I think just like really accepting like our responsibility, right? And all of this is just like it, if just one person shares the message, or if we all like take it upon ourselves to join the registry and to invite our friends, like truly that's like what makes such a difference. And just last week, Lina's parents and her brother hosted a drive in LA at the Pakistan Independence Day Mela and registered about 57 new donors. And so just like these like little, seeds like really go so far. In the past year, Gayatri and I worked together to register, I think, over 1,000, right? I think we registered over 1,000 people. There was a young Palestinian student that was here with the same type of cancer. And so I think slowly over the past like 3 to 5 years, like people are starting to hear the story, and we've done a lot of drives in local mosques and community centers. And so there's, there are places that we've been to 5, 6, 7 times in recent years. And so I think just like repeating the message like early and often and over again, people start to remember. And like, I think, slowly, like in some of the mosques anyway, this has like become a part of the culture that like every year, every Ramadan or every, holiday season, like we host these drives, and so people start to like expect it and get used to it.
That's amazing.
These stories that you all say inspire, like I know it inspires me, and I know that inspires all of us. And when listeners are listening to this, it inspires them, because I remember listening to your daughter's story. I actually went and registered right after that. And I was just like, that's a baby. And just, it hurt my heart to know that. And now I'm listening to your, like, I'm overwhelmed, and I want to sit here and just like start crying. There's just so much that you guys are doing, and it's so amazing. And I just wish that every listener that is listening to us goes out there, gets a kit, and just sends in their swab. It can save someone's life, and you're not giving anything away.
It's just
giving someone a life.
Like Gayatri says, you want to go over.
Yeah,
who can be a donor, right? Because it's that easy.
It's super easy.
Yes.
Yes. You order it online, text CURE, CURE, to 61474 and receive a kit.
So easy.
And all you need to do is swipe your cheeks. That's it. Just by doing that.
Voila.
That's it you need to do, and you can be on the donor registry. It does take few weeks to process, and once we have the results, you become part of the donor database, and from there you become part of patient search all around the world. So means living in Houston, you can help patients in New York, Canada, Europe, India, Pakistan, anywhere in the world. You don't need to travel. We have a system that donors get to donate where they live, and we take those cells to the patient where patient receives a transplant. So how easy it is.
Yes.
And I mean, it's incredible too, just like the technology, right? Like it's just so minimally invasive. Like living in a city like Houston, you just go to the blood center, they take out your stem cells from your blood, right? And that's it. And like I mean, seeing you get emotional, like that's really what it takes though, right? Like is us just like seeing our loved ones in the stories of the people that we hear about and read about. And another story, so there was another little boy that was diagnosed with the same type of cancer that Lina had. They were diagnosed at the same time, so they had like very similar cancer journeys. He was a 3-month-old baby. And so he was here in Houston. And when we learned about his story, like it felt like the whole community came together. Like we, did like 50 drives in the span of a month trying to find his match. And, like you would think like it's like easy to find a match. And actually he had several potential matches in the system, and they all said no. And so it's one of those things too, that it's like truly like when you match with a patient, oftentimes like you are the only person. And so like, it is like a life or death thing. And so anyway, the little boy Urham, he passed away as well, about 1.5 years after his diagnosis, a couple of days after his, I think it was his second birthday. Which is coming up in a few weeks. And anyway, all that to say, I mean, just really, really sad all around. His dad, though, about 1 year ago, got a call from Be the Match that he was a donor. He was a perfect match for a little boy. And so his dad recently, like in the last few months, I think in March, donated to this little boy. And, it's just, I think, it's just so, like, amazing and incredible and powerful to just, like, think about, like, the impact that these, like, small seeds that we're planting have. And so,
I mean, I can't even imagine for the parents, you know, what they had to go through. But they keep going on and, try to save other lives. So,
and he said he would do it like 100 times over. Like if,
of course.
Knowing that, the donor said no for his son, he still went ahead and saved another life.
Exactly.
That gives you, the potential that we have as a human to do
yes.
And he did it.
And a lot of time that people are concerned about what are the side effects of this. Of course, as Noreen said, the blood stem cells donation, you donate at the blood center facility. We have one center here in Houston. So all it takes is donors donate blood, and from that blood, stem cells are collected through apheresis method, and the rest of the blood components return back. Takes 3 or 4 hours. You sit in chair, relax, eat and drink whatever you want, as long as not alcohol. And after that, you go home the same day. And the best part of that is, even though donation takes 4 hours, you don't lose anything, because before donation, you get medicine to produce more cells. So basically, you donate the cells that you make more. So you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit inconvenience that you need to sit in the chair. You might feel a little achy, but that's it.
Yeah.
And on the other side, what you gain?
What is the benefit?
You save
You save a
someone's
life. Like someone gets
Just
to live because
because
Yeah.
of your giving
Yeah.
away 4
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
come
it.
on now.
Yeah.
The benefits, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
in past, we have donors over here
Yes,
who talked about their
exactly.
donation
Yes.
journey.
Yeah.
My husband is also one of those who donated. It's been 15 years.
Yeah.
And so many people donate, and 90% of donation are just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very simple. And 10% it is these blood forming cells are withdrawn from hip bone, and it is done under general anesthesia. You don't feel any pain. You sleep like a baby. You go home the same day. Just 1 or 2 days of discomfort, and you cure someone's disease like thalassemia, leukemia, and all those horrible diseases can get cured. So
Well, and Be the Match just makes it so accessible. Like if you're a college student or just a working professional and you don't get like paid for that day off, they'll even pay your wages.
Yes.
They'll pay all of your expenses. Something that I always share, which I just think is incredible, like, you know, just like the opportunity that we have, right? Like as oftentimes immigrants and children of immigrants living in the United States, like we have access to so much here. That's just not available in other parts of the world.
Agreed.
And so this database through Be the Match, like you enter the worldwide registry, which I think is super important to share because, you know, if you're Indian, Pakistani, whatever background you're from, you could match with somebody anywhere in the world. And so I think that's just really, really important to know, right? Especially in places that don't have the same access to healthcare, right? So you can match with a patient in India, you can match with somebody literally anywhere in the world that shares your ethnic ancestry, or just it's called HLA. It's a
human leukocyte.
so it's a protein that's found in your DNA. And so yeah, you could literally match with somebody anywhere in the world. And you know, if it is in a place where patients don't have access to these types of resources, right? Like they might not be able to sign up for the registry or have a registry that they can join, but maybe their hospital like can pull from the registry. So I think that's really incredible. Like the young boy that we swabbed for last year was from Palestine, and there aren't any like registry options for Palestinians right now that live on the West Bank or on the Gaza Strip. But if they're being treated in a hospital that can pull from the registry, right, like they could have a donor cell sent from here or a different part of the world. So that young boy, Omer, he passed away as well. But there are now like over 1,000 potential new donors, right? Like that could save the life of somebody like anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Wow.
Which actually, so Arham, the little baby whose dad donated his cells, that little boy I think is in the UK.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. So yeah, the donations goes outside of US. So 50% of Be the Match donations either go outside or we bring them from outside. We have a great resource platform over here and we have wonderful volunteers, but we just need to extend it. Like Noreen said that we did a lot of donor registration drives. So when we do these kind of events, we take help from so many people at different levels. Like so many people come there and help us at the events. And these are the high school students, these could be college students, young professionals or retired people, anybody. We have volunteers starting from the age of 14 to 80-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Anybody can contribute. Anybody can help us spread the awareness. And we have different ways that these people can contribute. There are some people who says that they want to contribute maybe just once a week, or maybe once a month, or maybe once in a year. On the other side, we have students who wants to volunteer 10 hours in a week. And high school students, some college students, they do need volunteer hours. And they need to learn the impact of volunteering. And over here, when they work with us, they see direct impact of their work. They get to know what their efforts are contributed to, how they are contributing, saving lives directly. And so, I mean, when Team Lina, I don't know how many volunteers they have, and Noreen then connected us with different masjids. And one of the masjids is Mariam Masjid. So over there now we have a system that they do blood drive every quarter, and with that blood drive we do the bone marrow registration drive as well. And it's like this masjid has their Sunday school, not the Sunday school, the regular school. Their teachers and the students, they have taken lead on that. So these 10-12 students with their teachers, they run this event every quarter. And not only that, at Ramadan, I mean, they went to different masjids where they conducted these students and their teachers.
Wow, that is so amazing. They're starting early, and that's just gonna grow.
Yes,
we
and
need
they
more
are so
kids
compassionate.
like that.
And I met their parents, and their parents said that they learned this thing from their children. And they brought, I mean, Lina, it's not that the parents can teach us, these children can teach us too. And they are the impact they are making, that is incredible. So our hope is, just like we have at the Mariam Masjid, we want to start such chapters at as many masjids, as many temples as possible, so that we can do more awareness.
Absolutely.
And so many people are joining, and we are hoping that more and more people will join us. And it is not just in Houston, it's all over the country. I've been working with another group is in Dallas. That group is called People Saving People. And they've been helping conducting these drives all over the country as well.
So we have Ginny calling.
Great.
You have to go on break in
2 minutes. So should we take him now? Or
Yes, we can take
it. We can take it. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Chinny?
Yes.
I can't hear him.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
I hear him
Can you hear
very faint. Wait, no.
Hello.
Yes, sorry about that. I'm so glad you are on the show, People Saving People, from People Saving People. So what is People Saving People?
Well, you know, the word says it, right? First of all, thank you so much for taking us in. Absolutely appreciate each and every one, and from the Chai Time team. And, from Be the Match, from Gayatri Ji is absolutely awesome. You know, from your side and our side, this is awesome. So, like it says, right? People saving people. But just is on the line. You know, we are people saving people. That's kind of understanding what we actually came it from.
Okay. And then recently, PSP was recognized at the Telugu Association of North America Convention. So what does that mean to you?
Well, you know, this is when you actually do this campaign, you know, I've started this campaign about 14 years ago in Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Oh, wow.
And fast forward 14 years later, we have spanned all over the country with the 23 chapters.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, we do nothing but, you know, we create awareness that every one of us has the power to save a life.
Okay.
And who are fighting with, blood-related disorders. So that's kind of a campaign
Chinny,
where...
quick thing, we're going to take a quick break because then we won't be able to hear you. So we'll be back right after the break. So just stay on the phone, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Welcome back to Chai Time on 99.5 FM. We are in conversation with Be the Match, and we were talking to Mr. Cheney from People Saving People. Mr. Cheney, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I'm still
Oh,
here.
okay,
Yes, I'm still
awesome.
here.
So we were talking about what does this mean to you, because you have been doing this for 14 years. That's commendable.
And Chinni garu, would you like to share how did you start working for this cause?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. When you ask me this, have to go back 14 years, right? That's pretty. I mean, it's good to sometimes go back to the memories, right? Yeah. As it says, necessity is mother of invention, right? It's the kind of a story. 14 years ago, one of my close friend got into this situation, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So what are friends for, right? So
Yes.
I got jump in. Yeah, why not? Let me actually help you save your life. But at that time, I did not know anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of jumped in like a typical friend.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward, I learned so much during the process, and I learned so much from the resistance from the community, and found about myths and all these things that are unknown factors causing our people to come forward to save our own people. So that's where it actually started. And the good news is that who are actually trying to find a match 14 years ago, my friend, we were able to find a match for him.
Oh, wow. That's
And
amazing.
we're able to, transplantation is done, and then all is good. And then I'm sure his children are now teenagers. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? What is life?
Yeah.
But I did not leave that step over there even after we found a match for our friends to friends, right? This has actually made me to see only one thing. This one I really want to say with the Chai Time. If you know something that actually useful to anyone in the human world, why not share it? Very simple.
Yes.
And that's only the line that actually brought me over to this 14 years forward. And then keep sharing. We do nothing, we just share that, each and every one has the unique power to save a life. That's the story, behind the scenes of 23 chapters.
Yeah, now you have 23 chapters. You've been working, for so long, raising awareness in the communities. You faced several challenges throughout your journey. Would you like to share what was your biggest challenge here?
Challenges, where is this perfect world without challenges? There are everywhere challenges. You go to a job, you have a challenge with your boss.
I love your positive attitude. I just love it. I can hear it in your voice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. These are the things, words that actually make me to encourage, do this thing. And please believe me that I'm not just one. We have hundreds of volunteers across the country helping it. And those are the volunteers. We call them actually, we have a nickname for our volunteers. You know what it is? LSV. It's called a life-saving volunteer. They're not typical volunteers out there.
Wow.
So those are the things. But the challenges when actually, when I started these things 14 years ago, the first 2 years was a super-duper challenge for me. I almost kind of gave up. Well, like you said, right? Yeah, I have a feel about, this thing that I wanted to share. So it's a when in one word you want to say it, it's a humility we have faced. The bestest humility in the community, in front of the community. But fast forward, after 2 years later, our own friends, our own community leaders started seeing as these guys are not easy guys. They're actually on a mission to save lives. Let us actually help these guys, these crazy guys. They are trying to save lives. So that's what made it in the community. Now, Gayatriji, if you ask me, the challenges are 99.99% accepts our campaign, our cause. I leave it to 0.111%. There are some out there, right? Obviously. So those are the things that we have it. But when you come back to, I'll come to the challenge, right? What are the challenges? We have so much to do. We have so much to help. We have, across the country, actually across the world. But one of our bestest the challenges is, I don't know if Chaitam can actually help us here. We need more volunteer stores.
Yes.
Yeah. That is the thing that we really every day and night we're facing it. If in any way Chai Time can actually help us, or I'm actually calling everyone, the media. What is this media? That the power. It goes to the masses, right? It goes to the masses. So media is one of the bestest sources to actually reach out to the masses. So if I'm requesting all the media, including Chai Time, to actually help us to spread the word out, to get more volunteers for our cause, so that we can actually help save more lives.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I can say.
So I want to add a little bit more over here. So Ms. Chini has been doing drives in Dallas area. And of course, in the beginning, he faced a lot of challenges going to the organization, because what we do is we need platforms to run those kind of events. And he started going to different organizations. Now, his efforts in DFW area is very much recognized. And that is the reason the Telugu Association recognized his efforts.
Oh, amazing.
And that means, yes, now they understand how important this work is. So we are getting a lot of platforms. But to run these kind of campaigns, we do need more volunteers.
Yes.
We got the support from the organization. Now we need the second step. We need the manpower who can help us manage
who can
those
really
events.
volunteer? Like, how do you?
Yeah, anybody can volunteer with us. High school volunteers. These high school volunteers have a lot of energy and they're compassionate.
Yeah.
And they are required to do volunteer hours because the school, the community want them to understand the impact. When you have something, you need to give back to the community.
Yeah.
So this is working with us, these volunteers, they learn the good message that they can contribute to save lives. So these high school volunteers can work with us, and of course, these volunteer needs volunteer hours. We do provide volunteer hours, and we do have the program for presidential awards also.
Okay.
And we have different programs. We provide leadership training, and we have different rules for high school volunteers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it doesn't stop there. We have the college volunteers. Some in the colleges, the clubs, they need volunteer hours. So a lot of those people come here. And in fact, we have on call Anoki Shah.
Okay.
Okay, and we do have another volunteer also. She is a high schooler, Anhad. She's been volunteering with us. So these could be the high school volunteers, these could be college volunteers, and we have the community volunteers. Look at Noreen.
Yeah.
And she's a professional and she has been volunteering. We have volunteers who have retired also. The empty nesters like me. The children went to their colleges or went to the work field. People have time.
Yeah.
They can contribute for this cause. It could be the great investment of their time. They can volunteer, and sometimes like the middle school students also volunteer with us, but we do need their parents to come volunteer, because if you are not 18, these volunteers cannot stay with us individually. So we do need their parents' guidance. We can take 16-year-old, but if they are under 16, we need their parents. And so many families are coming to volunteer. Last weekend, we had one event at Georgia Brown Center, and the families came together to volunteer. It was a husband, wife, a daughter. The daughter who needed the transplant, needed the volunteer hours, but the parents came there to help them. So anybody can volunteer with us.
Yeah, connect. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Cheney, we lost you there.
No problem. This is good. Yeah, I mean, it's people saving people. We look at that in multiple directions. Not a college, right? I mean, everyone.
Yeah.
This is where we actually bring it to the humanity, Lila, if you say.
Yeah.
So everyone need to give back to the community. Whether you are 14-year-old, whether you are 77-year-old.
Yes.
It's a part. We actually ingest this giving back in part of life. Then only we can see our the community around us as a green and beautiful. So anybody can actually come in, join in. And then, like Gayatri mentioned, you only have until 40 years to literally directly save a life, because the eligibility to register as a donor is a 40-year-old.
18
Very
to
interestingly,
40.
right? Then what do you do if you're at 41? Hey, I want to save a life. Well, unfortunately, sorry, we cannot take it in. But you know what? You can indirectly save a life. You know how? Just give back.
Yes,
Spare your time. God gave 24 hours every day. And you know what, Laila, if you want to actually hear this one, we actually have a interesting campaign to the families saying, okay, you live every day for 365 days in a year. You do whatever you like to do, job to holiday to parties. But you know what? Can you spare 2 hours in 1 year?
Yeah.
I'm not asking one per day. I'm not asking per week. Literally 1 year. I mean, who in the world what in the world that we cannot make 2 hours to give back to our own community? That's my call. That's my call to all the communities, Laila.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinny, for calling, and we hopefully listeners can listen to this, get inspired, and come to volunteer. So thank you again for your time and for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's pleasure is mine, and thank you so much, Gayatri ji, making it happen to Chai Time, and thank you, Laila. You're so sweet, so awesome. I love it. Really appreciate. And please reach to the masses. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That is just so inspiring. Like people, they take something that is sad, a tragedy, and then turn it around. We have Anoki on the line. She's Miss League City 2023. Anoki, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
I'm so glad you could make it on the call. So how did you connect with Be the Match?
So I got introduced to this beautiful organization through my aunt and have fallen in love with the organization's mission, which is to provide hope, healing, and a chance at a healthier life for individuals facing life-threatening diseases.
Yes.
Yeah, and Anoki's aunt is Purvisha, and it was last year I was saying that we are going to have a bone marrow drive at the Meenakshi temple on January 1st, and we needed volunteer. And Purvis was like she's always into helping, but she was like, oh, I have other commitments, I can come, but wait, my niece, my nephew, my son.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And she sent the whole gang.
Oh.
And they did amazing job. That's how I connected with Anoki.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Oh, thank you.
So what do you do as a volunteer with Be the Match, Anoki?
Yes, so I educate the public about life-saving potential and the importance of bone marrow and stem cell donation. I encourage individuals to join the bone marrow registry at donor drives that we have with a simple cheek swab. And we basically just focus on increasing representation of underrepresented ethnicities at these donor drives.
That is amazing. I know your aunt pushed you to come that day, but what kept you going, Because that was just one time, but you were still a volunteer. So, why are you still volunteering?
Honestly, I love the mission of this organization. I think the people that I meet, the connections that I make with people are just invaluable. And that's just something that just draws me to every single drive and just makes me very enthusiastic to wake up at 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. to come to these drives. It's just these small things that really make me keep going.
Wow.
Yeah, and last weekend she was helping at the Georgia Brown Center, and in the evening, a day before the event, her brother called me. He wanted also to come and help. So both brother and sister spent the whole day spreading awareness, and that event we ended up registering 93 people.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's great job, Anoki. I mean, God give you more strength to do more and create awareness, right? Because that's what we need, people like you out there.
Yeah, and now we are, the festivities are starting, we had gonna have garbas everywhere, then Diwali celebrations and all that.
Yeah.
Anoki is committed to help us with her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only brother and cousins, everyone.
Yeah, the whole family. What better way, right, to get together and have a positive impact. So that's just amazing.
So
Yeah.
she is in Clear Lake, League City, so they are committed to help in their area,
Yes.
and a lot of events are happening. So we do need volunteers to help them. Join our hands. If you are interested helping us, you're watching on Facebook, then put in comments, or you can reach out to me if you want to volunteer. My number is 281-780-1379. Once again, 281-780-1379.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anoki, for joining us today.
Yes, of course.
And Anoki, do you have any other plans? I know that you are helping at these events that we are organizing. You were mentioning the other thing that you are going to try through the library. What kind of impact you are making over there?
Yes, so I'm currently getting trained to read storybooks to read to kids. And so I feel like it's such a beautiful thing to connect with children at that age, and just spreading positivity and kindness through reading books is something that I'm very passionate about. And yeah, I'm just very blessed to have that opportunity.
Wonderful. Anoki, we really appreciate your contribution for the cause. And thank you so much for calling in. I look forward to working with you again at coming events.
Yeah.
I look forward to working with you guys, Randy.
Thanks, Bacha. Bye-bye.
Yes, of course.
It's great. The kind of energy these youngsters bring is amazing.
I mean, I don't even have words. Like, I'm just thinking, like, youngsters are generally hanging out somewhere, having coffee, or, but these, like, they have made sure that they're not only the siblings, but the cousins, like, this is for them to hang out and have such a great impact. Like, kudos to them, and I hope listening to this, like, more people can volunteer and give their time, so that's just amazing.
Yeah, so it's like anybody can volunteer, and volunteering doesn't mean that it's a boring.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Our volunteering with us is always fun. When we were at the Georgia Brown Center, I mean, we were playing, and this was an anime festival. So we learned so much about different anime shows, and we had good time volunteering there.
Yeah.
And like, when people come and volunteer, they can bring their children also. It's a very friendly, family-friendly events what we do. So few weeks ago, we had one event at Arling's. We hosted in one of the Friday evening. We registered so many people over there.
Yeah.
Coming week, we are hosting at Spanga, which is the exercise gym.
Yeah, yes.
I love
It's so good.
Yes, and you name it, any businesses, we can host these kind of events. If you have any business and you want us to come and you want to contribute, do reach out to us. Another invitation I received yesterday from Quality Ice Cream.
Oh, nice.
So on the Friday evening, we will be at the Quality Ice Cream. If you are in that area, coming over there, just stop by our table. Yes. Enjoy the ice cream.
Yeah.
And also learn how you can help save a life. And if you want to volunteer, of course, you are welcome for that as well.
That's great.
That is. I think we have another caller.
Oh, just a few more minutes.
Yeah. So another thing is another calling. Actually, her call is I don't know, not going through. Her name is Anhal, and she is Debeki High Schooler.
Okay.
9th grader, and and she came for the reason she came for the volunteering because her friend was volunteering with us. She had good time. I think it was at a holy event in Pearland. That's where she came for the first time. And after that, she's been coming. And when we went to the Georgia Brown Center, she signed up for one shift. That was on Friday. And when she was leaving, she asked me if she could come on Saturday and Sunday again.
Wow. That is great.
So she's been coming there, and we had last weekend, we had several events. We have Indian Independence Day celebration at Temple and the Stafford Center. And we've been conducting these drives. So different volunteer groups are helping at different level events. So Anhad came at one of those events as well.
Okay.
So I think she's on the call.
Hey, Anna, this is Layla. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So we were hearing great things about you. How did you get involved with Be the Match?
Okay, so my introduction to Be the Match came through a friend's recommendation.
Okay.
And I joined just really happy to be volunteering with somebody I knew. And I really didn't take this opportunity seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I didn't know much about the club and what the importance of it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I really had no idea how this organization would impact me and my way of thinking after my little cousin got diagnosed with thalassemia major.
Oh. Wow.
And since then, Anhad has been helping us. And she's from Debeki High School, right, Anhad?
Yes.
Would you like to share your plans moving forward, what you would like to do?
Well, I'd certainly like to keep on growing my involvement in Be the Match and volunteering at more events and drives, because this is really a noble cause and I really respect the cause. And I'd like to keep spreading the word.
Wonderful. Really appreciate that. And you mentioned about your cousin who has thalassemia. Would you like to share more about your cousin?
Yes. So she's 2 years old, and she's really important to me. And it was like a big deal for the family when we found out. And we're just trying to find her a match, and I really love her a lot. So I'm hoping that can be soon.
Yeah, see, thalassemia is one of the blood disorders very prominent in our Desi communities. Kids are born with disorder and they survive on blood transfusions. We talked about Rushi in previous shows, and for 10 years he survived on blood transfusions and he found a matching donor. And now he's leading a normal, healthy life. At the age of 11, he went for the first time for the rock climbing.
Oh, wow.
Because now he has the energy. Before the transplant, he didn't have energy. I barely heard him speaking anything. He was always quiet because he did not have energy. He was going to the school. Because of the blood transfusions, he was surviving, but he wasn't thriving.
Yeah.
Now he has received the transplant and he is a chatterbox. If he was here, I don't think we would have a chance to speak. When he's around, we have to say, Rishi, could you stop what you're doing? He's full
He's
of
being a child again.
He's full of energy. The same kid who was not speaking a word, now he's a chatterbox. How much his life is transformed. Just like Rushi, there are so many other thalassemia patients, like Anhad's cousin. There is another girl, Eva Barat, we've been working for years, and it's not just 2 or 3. There are so many people in our community battling this disease, and the cure is among us. We are getting the cure. We just need to find out whose match we are. So what we need to do is get tested. If you are between the age of 18 and 40, and if you are not in that group, or because of any reason, if you cannot register, you can still contribute, volunteer with us. And if you have signed up, it doesn't mean that you cannot volunteer. You can still volunteer with us. So anybody can volunteer with us. If you need more information, feel free to reach out to me. You can put it in comments, and of course I'll share my number one more time. It's 281-780-1379. And before I end, I would like to
I just want to say thank you to Anhad as well.
Yes.
Anhad, thank you so much for being on the call. I'm sure you're probably in school right now, but we're so very proud of you, because you're taking action for your little cousin, and we are so very proud of you. Great job. And I hope and pray that we can find her a donor.
Thanks, Anhan, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And there are so many
Bye.
other ways, like Mehreen has
Yes.
been helping. Mehreen, would you like to share your?
Yes, so I have been directly impacted by Be the Match. My little one, who turned 6, had a transplant about 3 years ago. That's when I met Noreen and Gayatri. So to keep this going, because being in the hospital for years, to be exact, 7 months at a time,
Yes.
behind the closed doors, I saw a lot of kids lose their battles. Just because they didn't have a proper match.
Yeah.
And that really, impacted me at so many levels, seeing my little one able to thrive, able to get up, able to move, because after the transplant, as Gayatri mentioned with Rushi, she had the energy after that.
Yeah.
So now she's, again, she's a chatterbox. She runs around, all thanks to the donor, all thanks to Be the Match.
Yeah.
So in my situation, I'm not able to head out in the evenings
Yeah.
because of our other medical issues. So I decided, Gayatri, I want to help by all means, anything I can do. So I stay up at nights with her due to her feeding, and I make the swab kits for Be the Match.
Aw.
So this is my contribution. Somehow I feel in my head that I'm doing something which is going to
You
impact
are.
another
Yes.
kid.
Yeah.
And this is what I can do.
do
And as Gayatri mentioned, you could be doing anything. There's so many things that you can actually do.
Yeah.
You don't have to be standing at the front and, educating, but you can be at the back.
Yeah.
You can do stuff, just spread awareness and save as many lives as you can. Because this is one of the donations where you don't actually have to die to donate.
Yeah.
You're alive and you can actually see the impact.
Yes.
And being a volunteer with them, gives me joy. I can sleep at
It
night.
gives you peace. Yeah.
Making sure that, I made,
Yeah.
even if it's 0.0001%, I made an impact in a kid's life somewhere around the world.
Thank
So
you.
I'm
Thank you
glad.
so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm glad that I get the opportunity to be part of this wonderful, wonderful organization and a great cause that we're all carrying forward.
Yes. And we have a positive story with
Alicia.
Yes. So
Yes.
Thank God for
Yeah,
that.
thank goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
And the time is up, so I can't believe it went by so fast. But it was so heartwarming, heart-touching, and I hope our listeners can feel what we are feeling and can take some action. This is one organization that comes here and it's not asking for money, it's just asking for your time. Like Mr. Chinny said, 2 hours in a year. Come on, I think we can do that much. So I hope people are inspired to volunteer. And thank you so much, listeners. We will be back next Monday, same time, same place. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you once again, ladies, for your amazing support.
Always.